Hey guys, Matt here and welcome back to my top 6 fragrances. In this episode of Top 6 Fragrances, we're going to be exploring fragrances from my collection and also my friend Matt's collection. Now I'm so excited to do this video. As you can see, I've got a beautiful candle here, cherry vanilla Yankee candle. It smells absolutely gorgeous, and at the moment I'm actually eating some Werther's Original, which are German sort of butterscotch candies. So yes, that is what I'm doing tonight. So I'm kind of just relaxing and wearing my number one on this list. But before I show you guys my fragrances, let's check out Matt's honorable mention. Take it away, Matt.
Okay, so these are going to be top picks for the fall. First, we're going to start with the honorable mentions. So we're going to start with honorable mention number 1. This would be Dirty English. This came out in 2008. There's a spicy, woody, leathery. It's got some oud in it. You must find the vintage version, not the reformulated version. The new reformulated version is watered down, so that's our first honorable mention. Dirty English for Men by Juicy Culture. Honorable mention number 2. This is Patchouli Intense by Molinard. I love this in the fall. This is just intense patchouli. There's some vanilla in there. It's very loud, one spray only. This came out in 2010. Our next honorable mention, one of the last more masculine scents before they started getting freshies, Van Cleef & Arpels Czar. This came out in 1989, and it is just great. It's starting to get on the fresh side, but it's still got the more masculine stuff to it that a lot of the 80s scents had. So that's honorable mention number 3, Czar by Van Cleef & Arpels.
Thanks, Matt. Now, let's talk about my honorable mention. Now, this is a fragrance which is the one that I've always wanted to smell. It's classed as a cheapie, and it's not really respected enough in the community, and not a lot of people really know about it. This is Corduroy by Czar. Personally, I don't know how you pronounce it, but this is a great fragrance. The only way I can describe it is it's got this light cinnamon note, but overall it's a sort of leathery fragrance, and it reminds me of the smell of leaves, like leaves in kind of like in an autumn time forest. That's what it kind of reminds me of, like crushed leaves. When you pick up the leaves and you scrumple them together and you get that smell. It's what it reminds me of, but it's very leathery. And that's what I really like about it, is the fact that it is like that. It's a great fragrance. The only downfall is the fact that it is pretty awkward to spray because it's a big bottle, and you've literally got to, like, you know, obviously I'm not going to spray near a naked flame, but that would be terrible. But yes, that is my honorable mention, which is Corduroy by Czar. Please do check out this fragrance. It is pretty cheap, but see what you think. It's a goodie. Now let's check out Matt's number 6.
So, our top 6 for the fall. My first pick would be Givenchy Gentleman. This came out in 1974. This is what I would wear if I'm going to, in the fall, somewhere dressed up. This is, you get a lot of patchouli, honey, and leather. This is just, it's class in a bottle. It's blended well. It's very classy. So this is what I would wear if I was dressing up and going to a function somewhere in the fall. So that's Givenchy Gentleman.
Now my number 6 for my favorite fragrances of the autumn time is Halston Ah, you're probably expecting Z14, right? This is 112. Z14 is, I think it's a perfect winter fragrance. However, I think 112 is perfect for the autumn time because it's woody and spicy. So yes, I guess it could be worn in the winter time, but it is more appropriate for the autumn time because of the fact that it's woody. And I just think it's a glorious fragrance. Of course, came out the same year as Halston Z14, 1976. So it's known as its underrated twin, the twin that doesn't get enough praise. But I think it's an amazing fragrance. It's definitely different from a lot of other fragrances, and yeah, it just doesn't get enough praise. So if you can check out this fragrance, you need to. So this is Halston 112. It's a great fragrance. Definitely unique. I think you might like it. Check it out. Now let's check out Matt's number 5.
Next, number 5, we have Marc Jacobs Bang. And this came out in 2010. And this is peppery, woodsy, spicy. It's perfect in the fall. So that's Marc Jacobs Bang, number 5.
Now my number 5 for my favorite fragrances in the autumn time is Boss Number 1 by Hugo Boss. Now this fragrance came out in 1985. Yeah, it came out in 1985, and oh my god, this is the 1980s in a bottle. And like last year, I wore this like crazy in the autumn time, and it did me ever so well. Because if you like honey, and if you like leather and tobacco, this is a great fragrance to go for. I guess it's that honey note that really makes it sort of warm, but when you wear it, it just creates this really beautiful aura around you, and you really do smell good. And I got a lot of compliments on this. A lot of people, when they smell this, they compare it a lot to Aramis 900. Personally, I do see a strong similarity to it, but I think that this is a better fragrance. It's definitely long lasting. It lasts longer than Aramis 900, and it's a classic. It's a definite classic, and just probably my favorite from the Hugo Boss line. This is important, okay? But yes, great fragrance, guys. If you can find this fragrance, check it out. If you want something that's very rich in, greeness and honey vibes and tobacco vibes and, just bursting with masculinity, great fragrance to go for. So this is number 1 by Hugo Boss. Check it out. Now let's find out what Matt's number 4 is on his list.
Number 4. This is by gvaughn, and this is I just call it DV because that's what it's on the bottle, but it's Douce de Vernes. This came out in 1985. If you like czar noir, but you want something a little bit more classier, more well blended, this is the guy for you, Douce. It's like an upscale czar noir. This is just perfect. This came out in 1985. And I would definitely recommend you check this one out. So that's number 4. Douce Deverns, I can never pronounce it, by gvaughn. So that's number 4.
Now my number 4 on this list, guys, is Versace Lhomme. A classic fragrance that came out in 1984 by Gianni Versace. This is actually the first fragrance for men that came out from the company, and since then it's proven to being a classic. I mean, it is classed as a sort of love-hate in the community, but everybody who owns a bottle of this swears by it. And I'm one of those people. It's got leather in there, it's also got a touch of tobacco, but it's a very citrusy fragrance. It's very rich, but it's just a true gentleman's fragrance. Like, I don't actually own a lot of sort of classic gentleman fragrances, those type of scents. This is probably the only one I really like, per se. I mean, I also have a great fragrance called Worth Pour Homme, which is also an amazing fragrance. But this one is just amazing on so many levels. The reason it's in this list is because it's perfect for the autumn time, because it's so warm, it's inviting. It reminds me of sitting under a tree that's just had all of its leaves fallen off, and I'm wearing this sort of black coat with a white shirt underneath. I don't know why. That's the vibe I get out of this fragrance, and whenever I smell this and whenever I wear it, that's what I get. So great fragrance. If you want something classic and masculine, Versace Lhomme is a great fragrance. So that is my number 4. Now let's check out Matt's number 3.
Number 3, we have Aramis Devon. This is just perfect for the fall. This is pine, this is leather, this is spices. This came out in 1977. This is just amazing stuff. If you like polo green, I guarantee you that this is done 100 times better than polo green. So this for me beats polo green, and I used to love polo green. That's Aramis Devon. This is just a classic, 1977. Too bad it wasn't 1978, because that was my birth year, but oh well, it was born 1 year before me. So it's a classic. Devon by Aramis.
Now my number 3 on this list, guys, is a fragrance that I involved in my last video with Matt when we talked about underrated gems, and it still is an underrated fragrance without an absolute doubt. This is Versace Man. Now this scent came out in 2003, and it's sad because it's not that popular. A lot of people are, debating on whether or not it's discontinued or not. I honestly don't know if it is. I mean, a lot of people out there will say it is, a lot of people will say it's not. Personally, I'm on the fence. I don't know if it is. But if you can find a bottle of this, I would highly recommend it, because this fragrance is niche quality in a designer bottle. If this juice was in like a niche style bottle, something really fancy, it would sell, and it would sell for the big bucks. I'm not kidding. Now, I said this in my last video. If you like Versace Pour Homme Oud Noir, you're going to love this fragrance. In fact, this fragrance is better than that. It kind of smells a little bit like that. Even though this fragrance doesn't feature oud, it actually features tobacco, saffron, and cedarwood. So it's a woody, tobacco-y fragrance with that sort of spice to it, and that comes from that saffron. Honestly, great fragrance. If you smell this, you'll think, wow, that's so unique. How can that not be popular? I don't know. That's what I think every single day whenever I smell this. Like right now, I cannot believe a fragrance like this is so unpopular. I mean, the bottle design is just absolutely stunning. It's exactly the same as, Versace Man Au Fresh, which of course is the flanker to this, but it is blue and silver. This one is gold, it's sort of like a copper with the purple glass. It's just stunning, honestly. So that is my number 3, Versace Man by Versace. Please do check this fragrance out. It's a masterpiece, I'm telling you. Now let's check out Matt's number 2.
Number 2. This is just, I love wearing this in fall, and this is just perfect for fall. This is, and see, a lot of these, they have common themes like patchouli and leather and stuff in them. Like Devon has leather, Deuce has leather, this is spicy, leathery, just class, Italian 80s class. Think of a guy dressed up in his, Versace suit in the 1980s, walking down the street, just looking really good with his Rolex watch on, in Italy, and he's just, just classy 80s gentleman, and this is what Versace Lhomme is. I love this in the fall. Now, once again, you don't want to overdo it. You just want to stay 2 to 3 sprays, and this is just awesome in the fall. I wore this last night when it was cooler out, finally, and this is just perfect for the fall. I love wearing this in the fall. So this is number 2, Versace Lhomme. Gotta get it. Gotta get it.
Now my number 2 is a very strange choice. This is actually, I think this is a British made fragrance, and it comes from a company called Covent Garden. and it's called Sanctuary Spa. This fragrance is intended for women, but I think it's a very strong unisex fragrance. As you can see, I've actually used up most of it. This used to belong to my mum, but she actually gave me it. She was like, if you like it, you can have it. And I was like, yes. And it does smell absolutely divine. Now, whenever I smell this, I think of, actually imagine living in a farmhouse, more like a traditional farmhouse in the middle of an English countryside. And I imagine sitting, well, you guys hear that noise right now? That crackling fire? That's what I get. I can imagine sitting in the dark room in this farmhouse with nothing but the light from the stone-built fireplace. That's what I imagine. And this smell has that. It's got this cotton, soft smell to it. It's very floral, white floral, I would say. It's very musky, powdery scent. Oh, just honestly, it is absolutely phenomenal. This is just a sensual, delicious fragrance. Honestly, this is, it's just amazing. Honestly, I can't really say anything more than that. It's just absolutely beautiful. A very safe fragrance, very inviting. It's just stunning. I mean, I don't even know the notes for it because I will be doing a full review on this soon, so please do wait for that. But yes, that is my number 2, and it's Sanctuary Spa by Covent Garden, the classic eau de toilette. Now let's check out Matt's number 1. Well, number 1.
And my number 1 perfect pick for the fall. This is a dual pair because they need to go together. And this is, ready for it? Obsession. Number 1, Obsession. This, to me, is perfect for fall. This is a must to wear for fall. This is a must have to wear for fall. This is, you need this for fall. You have to wear this in fall. And this is spices and just wonderfulness and just, it's just fall in the bottle. It's cinnamon, it's vanilla, it's spicy. It's just, oh my God, I could just eat this stuff up. And you gotta get Obsession. You need Obsession for fall. This is my number 1 pick, and this came out in 1985 and 1986. The only difference is the women's is a little bit heavier, and I would recommend the vintage for the women's. The new version is not that bad, and then we have the men's, and any version of the men's is good, but of course, I would say prefer you get vintage. But if you can't find vintage, get a new bottle because it's still good in the new formulation by Cote, which is what this one is. Yeah. Obsession, number 1 for fall. You must. It's a must. Obsession. You gotta get it. Obsession. 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 Yes, Obsession. Number 1. Man or woman's. And guys can wear the women's. So, you gotta get it. And they basically smell the same.
Good choice with the Obsession, Matt. You know, I was thinking about adding Obsession, but I didn't really do it in the end because this fragrance is way better than Obsession. I'm just kidding, buddy. Obsession's a great fragrance, but let's check out my number 1. Now, this fragrance is amazing. Now, this fragrance has actually been in my life for quite a while, but this is the second bottle I've purchased, and it's relatively new. I've had it for about 2 weeks now, and it has recently been reformulated. Nothing worse, seriously. When I found out this fragrance was reformulated, I was very upset. It came in a different style of packaging. Well, the packaging was pretty much the same, but the bottle design was different. It used to have a built-in atomizer, doesn't anymore. It's got its own cap. And when I sprayed it the first time, I could tell it changed. But I have worn it a lot since then, and it's still a great fragrance. And it definitely deserves my number 1 spot in this list. And it is Lolita Lempicka Au Masculine by Lolita Lempicka. Now, this fragrance came out in 2000, and this is just one of my most favorite gourmands of all time. Now, if you like the smell of licorice, you are going to absolutely devour this fragrance on your skin. Seriously, this is just the most beautiful fragrance you'll probably ever smell. Well, one of the most beautiful fragrances, in my opinion. Now, I hate licorice. I hate the taste of it. I just hate being around licorice. I even hate the smell of real licorice. But what's strange is I like it in this. Well, it's more of an aniseed. I mean, aniseed and licorice are pretty much the same thing. But I absolutely love it in this. Like, when I smell it, it just smells great. Now, if you think of, Jägermeister or Sambuca or, Ouzo, any type of liqueur that has a licorice taste to it, this is it, honestly. But the main notes in this fragrance are vanilla, rum, and aniseed, including licorice. But honestly, it sounds delicious, right? Especially with that rum and vanilla. Oh, this is beautiful. A lot of reviewers who have reviewed this fragrance have said, that it reminds them of an enchanted forest. And it does. I guess it's, the way the glass looks. It's just a beautiful, beautiful bottle. That's what the cap looks like. It's just honestly, it's a beautiful looking bottle. And if you guys want to know who it's made by now, it used to be made by Lempicka Parfums, I think. It's now made by Pacific Creation. So it has changed a lot. But yes, that is my number one on this list for my top 6, including an honorable mention for my top fragrances for the fall. And I just want to say a big thank you to Matt, Mr. Matt Conkis, all the way from Chicago. He's a dear friend of mine. I love doing videos with Matt, so thanks again, Matt, for showing me your fragrances for the fall. And thank you so much, guys, for watching this episode. I really do hope you're all doing tremendous. I hope you're all having a wonderful day, morning, night, wherever you are in the world. Please let me know what your top 6 fragrances are for the autumn, and I will get back to you. Honestly, tell me, I'm really intrigued. So thank you so much for watching. Good night. Bye-bye for now.